For centuries, South African society and South African law has discriminated against many different groups of people. For instance, people being treated unfairly because they weren't white, or women, particularly women of color, suffering in a patriarchal society, and the needs of people with disabilities often go ignored, which results in many being excluded from society. The Constitution recognizes the inequality caused by this past discrimination and now grants everyone the right to be treated equally by the law and to be protected against discrimination. So, because the Constitution grants this right to equality, we are all equal now, right? Well, not yet. Even though the discriminatory laws of the past are gone, the effects of hundreds of years of oppression remain. That's why our society is not yet equal. Here's an example of how the inequality of the past still affects us today. Most white people enjoyed a good education, sometimes for free, which leads to skilled work, which means they earned more money. 87% of the land and a number of skilled jobs were reserved for white people, which ensured them proximity and access to these opportunities. Less competition from other racial groups meant there were more jobs to go around. Those who were able to accumulate wealth and ownership were able to pass it on to their families. On the other hand, people of color usually couldn't access good education. This, along with the discriminatory influx control and pass laws, meant many could only find and had fierce competition for unskilled jobs, which meant they received meager, irregular pay, lived in under-resourced areas, far from job opportunities, and as a result, struggled to provide for their children. This cycle continued for generations and still persists in present-day South Africa. To promote the achievement of equality, our Constitution requires that we take measures intended to overcome the lasting effects of discrimination and to transform society by introducing policies favoring those impacted by unfair past discrimination. These measures are intended to break the cycle of past injustices. It also provides protection for everyone from unfair discrimination on many grounds, including race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and disability. In the same way, in order to enjoy equal access to education, a person in a wheelchair might need a ramp to access their school, or a person who's blind might need access to Braille textbooks or other assisting devices. If equality always means the rules apply to everyone in the same way, like they had to use stairs and not have special books, many people wouldn't be able to access their rights. Ensuring that people aren't discriminated against and can claim their rights equally is vital for ensuring that everyone is able to fulfill their potential. Take it from Silomo Khumalo, who has been blind since childhood.
I'm Silomo Khumalo. I'm from a township called Claremont in Durban. I'm a person with a disability. The right to equality is a very important right in our Constitution. As a result, I have had access to education. I have finished my tertiary level education and I'm currently employed as a law clerk at the Constitutional Court of South Africa. Without having had access to equal right to education, I would not have been where I am. I encourage that everybody who feels unfairly discriminated or unfairly treated approach the Equality Court in order to exercise their rights.